Howdy folks, today I have a treat for you. We've got Yuah versus Scooterrene on Lajesh. This is a replay I've actually been meaning to see for a while. I think this is a very interesting matchup. If you look at the rankings on the face list, this looks like it would be one-sided because I think Yuah is rated quite a bit higher than Scooterrene, and I think he is a better player. On the other hand, Yuah plays a couple decks that tend to have very poor matchups versus Scooterrene's Pure Frost. And Yuah tends to like to play a big tier 3, which again plays right into Scooterrene's hands. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. Bubbaloo and I took bets. I remember watching this. We were waiting for Yuah to come join us for 2v2. And I bet that Yuah would win, and Bubbaloo bet that Scooterrene would win. So far, really good. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I think Yuah's still doing good with the micro. He's traded 2 Master Arches for the 1 Scavenger. I think he's going to lose that Scavenger too, and this brings it back to Yuah's advantage. Very nice Cliff of Frost. He might be able to snag one more Scavenger, I think. Yuah is probably, I think, could have had a pretty juicy eruption there. Scooterrene's Ice Guardian is also low on... okay, there we go. Solid eruption. I think Yuah's targeting was not quite optimal there. He is going to get the Ice Guardian, and he's taken a couple squads out. Okay, there. He got the Ice Guardian. Again, slight advantage for Yuah here. I think Yuah's microing very well here. And you can see that Yuah's score is slightly less than Scooterrene's score, which means he spent less power, and he has more units on the field. So Yuah is doing pretty solid tier 1. I think it's probably safe for him to just take it well and heal up. I also noticed that Scooterrene's playing a little bit scared of Yuah. Scooterrene tends to like to escalate power levels really high as soon as possible. Interesting, Yuah is not taking a well. I think he definitely could have taken a well with no consequences here. Again, the Firestorm is a little bit strange. Perhaps Yuah is afraid of escalating to higher power levels, and Yuah takes the first well. And again, this is a pretty aggressive position, so I don't think Yuah has any advantage to speak of anymore. Even on wells, he's got tons of units on the field, but he's going to have a difficult time pushing this against Frost, especially in this kind of corner area where the Ice Guardians can get a lot of interception, and Fire is going to have a much difficult time clipping Frost over the edge. So Scooterrene actually has better map control. He's going to be able to pretty safely go up to higher tech levels. Again, Yuah has traded slightly better, but I don't think that's going to be very significant. The Scavengers are going to beat the Master Archers, so if you can get some Scavengers over here, you can possibly lock Scooterrene out of tier 2. But again, if this is a Pure Fire versus Pure Frost, Yuah's going to have to do a lot more than just survive the tier 1. He's going to have to... Okay, very nice micro here. He was microing very well, although his units there I don't think traded super optimally. Notice Yuah still played 670, and Scooterrene has played a lot more. So this might be a good opportunity for Yuah to go tier 2 and clean up with a lava field. The biggest problem with that is that, let's say he goes tier 2, gets a tempo advantage, then Scooterrene goes tier 2, and what's there to do? Now this is not looking so good for Yuah. He's played with a lot less power on the field for a while, and Scooterrene got some really nice trades here. Now they are clumped up, so an eruption is going to be absolutely devastating if Yuah gets the power. So far he doesn't have the power. There's the eruption. Day's squad of Master Archers there, which the Scavengers I think will be able to clean up pretty nicely. And this is swinging back in tempo for Yuah. Yeah, I think these days Master Archers are not quite not that effective. But longer the game goes on, the better it is going to be for Scooterrene, because I guess Scooterrene doesn't know what Yuah is playing. I don't actually know what Yuah is playing, but Yuah is almost always playing Pure Fire or Fire Nature. This is a ranked game, so it's probably not Fire Nature. My guess would be this is a Pure Fire deck. Could be. could be bandits. Yuah plays bandits sometimes as well, just because bandits are so strong. But yeah, based on the way Yuah is playing here, I feel pretty confident that he's going Pure Fire. An Eruption I think would be fairly effective here, but Yuah is trying to do slightly better than that. And Scooterrene is trading pretty well, and this tier 1, again, I'm not convinced that it's Yuah's advantage. Now, do keep in mind that Scooterrene has spent a lot more power than Yuah. So Yuah should have slightly more power overall, but yeah, we'll see. There you go, Army. More Firesworn. Firesworn is an interesting choice because there's no Ice Guardians, so the counter for Firesworn is not out there. On the other hand, Frost Mages are more stat efficient than Firesworn. But Firesworn are always a good choice against Frost. I think Scavengers are probably the best choice though, but it's possible that at this point you has actually run out of Scavenger charges. That actually would not surprise me the way he's been spamming Scavengers. Alright, so now Yuah's got a big tier 1 army, and Scooterrene is going to have a bit of difficulty getting tier 2 because tier 2 is not at his base, so Yuah might have a really solid push here actually. I think it might be a good choice for him to go tier 2 and try to push with his remaining tier 1 units and then get a Cliff Dancer while Scooterrene is stuck in tier 1. Instead, Yuah is trying to push more tier 1 units. Well, this definitely could work. I'm just not that convinced. I think the more units are on the field, the better Frost gets, because Frost scales with the number of units there, right? Like Home Soil affects everybody, Glyph of Frost affects everybody, whereas Eruption hits 3 units. So Fire is basically most effective in a group of 3 units, whereas Frost gets more and more effective the more units there are on both sides. So Yuah is deciding to go tier 2 here. I think he's kind of lost his tier 1 advantage that he had going into this fight. Scooterrene's defended very easily. Yuah is running away with his tier 1 units, which is fine. On the other hand, it's binding a good 300 power, so possibly he should not try to keep it. I think he would be maybe better suited trying to keep a pressure on this area and not letting Yuah go tier 2, or not letting Scooterrene go tier 2. Scooterrene takes the offensive wall, which I think is a dirty choice. Yeah, and it's Pure Fire. I think it's a dirty choice, but it's a very, I think it's a very solid strategic decision. It's going to make it really difficult for Yuah to attack. It's also going to make it difficult for Yuah to take this power wall. And the win condition for Pure Fire at this point, since Yuah hasn't won tier 2, the win condition is to basically get to tier 3. And so the fewer wells, like this is basically blocking one whole well. So Yuah's going to be able to have kind of, at max, an additional 3 wells, so 5 total. And Yuah's also going to be moving pretty slow because he's got a bunch of tier 1 units bound here. And Yuah did get a unit over here. Notice he made the Gladiatrix, which is good because it's swift, and it's also a counter for War Eagle, which is kind of the big card that Scooterrene's going to be playing. And yeah, Scooterrene's got a solid map control advantage. Yuah might have an opportunity to kind of contest the spot, but Stormsinger destroys Gladiatrix, and it would be super unsafe for Yuah to take that well himself, so I'm not really seeing it. But lots of tier 1 units from both sides. Yuah is going to be trying to set up some sort of clipping situation here. Gladiatrix is running from the what do you call them, the Stormsingers. We've got Drakes versus War Eagles. The tier 1 units have fallen, and Yuah gets his kind of most valuable unit out, which is the Skyfire Drake. If he can get Eruption here, that would finish off the War Eagle. Looks like Yuah is trying to be a little bit greedy and not take the Eruption. Yuah is also taken in extra well, so it is, he's actually up, yeah, so he's up 1 extra well over Scooterrene. Scooterrene is microing away. Looks like so far so good. Yuah is just trading very well too. I think he's taking advantage of having the two fronts, and Yuah not necessarily, or not, yeah. Yuah I think is just microing a little bit better on two fronts than Scooterrene is. This trait comes over here to heal, and this Rallying Banner is still in a very good position because, Fire wants to have a bunch of Skyfire Drakes. The Burning Spears actually do very well versus Frost, so that's true. This matchup is a lot better than it used to be. Also, because Scooterrene is not playing White Rangers, this guy is pretty much just a suicide. If Yuah has power for Lava Field, that would clean this up pretty well, but I think Scooterrene has figured out that there isn't power for Lava Field. The Splash on Skyfire is still doing very good jobs. Yeah, and Scooterrene has taken the Scout Templar instead of the White Rangers. Scout Templar obviously is very good. This Enforcer dies just to the well, and everything is even, but Yuah has this extra well, and it's pretty close to paid off. Scooterrene has finally taken this well, but that's given Yuah a good, solid temporary advantage. Again, that's not a huge deal, but also very good for Yuah is the fact that Scooterrene has bound 100 power in this Skyfire Scout Templar. That's going to make it. It's just binding a little bit of power. That's not that good in offense. But yeah, the problem is that Pure Frost eventually hits a situation where you can just make like 2 or 3 War Eagles and just spam them, and you can't do anything about it. But so far, Yuah's got a little bit of an initiative lead. He's got a little bit of a. He's trading better. He's got a little bit of a power advantage. And so things are going well. I think an Eruption here would be good to kill this Skyfire Drake. Oh, it looks like the Area Ice Shield missed the War Eagle, and that's pretty huge because, yeah, it's very possible that if that War Eagle was shielded, it could literally just run up here, attack that wall, and be able to drop it. Hard to say it would be close either way, but that's definitely good for Yuah that it happened out that way. Both sides are on +2 extra walls. I think Scooterrene actually shouldn't have broken this wall, to be honest. Like, if you're going to be a dirty person who takes the wall, like, I think it was providing a tactical enough advantage without needing to remove it. Maybe he just felt bad playing Pure Frost versus Fire and kind of wall aiming. Hard. I don't know. Who can say? But yeah, Yuah's, again, very good unit compositions to fight Frost. The War Eagle Scream will destroy the Gladiatrix very easily, but I think Scooterrene is playing with a lot less power than Yuah just because Yuah is trading better. And you can see the score difference here, right? So that even not accounting for the extra power difference, yeah, that Ravage I think didn't do. Oh, actually, yeah, okay, Scooterrene has decided to take this well. But you can see the score difference that and Yuah is going tier 3. What we can see is that the game lasts quite a bit longer. So it's possible that this tier 3 is not as decisive as we're kind of assuming. Scooterrene is not taking tier 3. He's deciding to push hard in tier 2, which is a solid decision because Lightblade can counter Juggernaut reasonably, Lightblade and Glacier Shell, and so can Irish Knights. I don't know if Scooterrene is playing Irish Knights, and War Eagles destroy Giant Slayers. I don't know why Yuah is playing a Giant Slayer, to be honest. He's got tons of power. Yeah, this is just kind of confusing to me. Is he like wanting to spawn the Juggernaut with a Rallying Banner? Oh, there's the Juggernaut. Yeah, he spawned it dazed, I guess. But yeah, the Giant Slayers are not going to get anything done. And he was probably only playing 2 cards in his tier 3. So it's, yeah, not necessarily going to be game over. I think with the Disenchant and Glacier Shell should save things, but yeah, it looks like Yuah is trying to get in this position where he can hit the monument or bait out the Glacier Shell, and then he hits 2 of these wells. I actually didn't kill this well. Yuah should erupt there. There goes, there's the eruption. Meanwhile, this wall is putting in some pretty solid damage against this wall. Very nice wildfire. If you had the power of eruption, obviously that'd be a very nice eruption spot, but he's also concerned about this wall dropping. And the Juggernaut dies. Yeah, again, here's the win condition is go tier 3, but at the same time, Pure Frost has really powerful tools to deal with both of those tier 3 units. I think you should probably play a Rallying Banner. Yeah, I think just the extra health and the extra damage is about 50 power. That's worth 50 power for the Rallying Banner. I think playing these Dazed Juggernauts is not very effective. And this well did drop, so actually they are still even on wells. There we go, he's attacked the door. And at this point it should force out the Juggernaut's having trouble walking. Yep, so he's got another well out. Scooterrene is playing solid defense, or full defense, but you can see he's got so many War Eagles. So there's really not a way for Yuah to deal with this actually, like Skyfire Drakes. That's his air counter. So at some point, you know, this is, I guess, microed pretty badly because one eruption is going to clear it out. But yeah, Scooterrene is making a huge army that's really not going to be trivial to defend. Might be worth it for Yuah to erupt here. There we go. Okay, so the Juggernaut is trying to put in work, it looks like. Juggernaut going on defense rather than offense. Yuah does have a power advantage at this point, but his tech advantage is really just 2 cards, right? The Juggernaut and the Giant Slayer, and the Giant Slayer is slightly better than an Enforcer, which is a totally useless card in this matchup. So Scooterrene kicks another well. If he can freeze that Juggernaut, and with War Eagle, this is yeah, really not a guaranteed win for Yuah, actually. He's got that second Juggernaut out. I think at this point he's trying to spawn them as soon as possible because he wants to have his charges reset. There's a freeze on one Juggernaut. Glyph of Frost will take care of the other Juggernaut. And if Scooterrene has power to, he does have power to Area Ice Shield. I think he should be spamming Area Ice Shield, and probably an Orb Focus would actually do a solid here, as well as Home Soil. Yeah, Yuah is reduced to erupting, and that eruption was effective because there was no Area Ice Shield, which is just kind of confusing me. And these Eagles should go attack that Juggernaut. I'm a little confused what's going on here. This War Eagle's going for the Juggernaut. I think this is kind of this position where, well, yeah, very nice from Yuah, baiting out to kill this War Eagle. That was a huge mistake from Scooterrene. The Stampede, I don't think did much. But yeah, so that Juggernaut is gone, and Scooterrene has decided to stop chasing this Juggernaut, and I think just probably go offense. So I'm a little confused the direction he's going. Again, an Area Ice Shield, and then at some point, like, Yuah has to spend, it's something crazy, like 6 eruptions to push this down, and that's just not sustainable. Like, at the very least, even if you got infinite power, you run out of charges. So I think I also think Yuah should be home soiling, and this is looking pretty, or not Yuah, Scooterrene should be home soiling. What was that? What was that? Okay. It seems like, I don't know, this seems to me like is a good, solid win for Scooterrene, but he's throwing with his kind of awkward target shifts. Get an Area Ice Shield. He's got the power. There it goes. With the home soil and with a freeze, or even just using the ability from the Eagle. There we go. Yeah, this Yuah is just barely surviving. He's taken the, well, I think, I mean, I'm sure he's got tons of power. So actually, he doesn't have tons of power. I think he should have just gone for the orb. Yeah, because Yuah has a bunch of power bound in tier 1. Scooterrene is low on power, but he is deciding to go tier 3. Focusing on the orb, I think, is a very solid decision. There we go. Yuah cancels. Attacking the Skyfire Drake is doing nothing because it's ravaged. Disenchant on the Juggernaut, but that is actually a really good thing for Yuah for Scooterrene to see Yuah do, because it means that Juggernaut is not being disenchanted in offense. Probably going to be a double eruption, but I don't know, this is looking quite good for Scooterrene. It's possible that he's, I mean, if he doesn't see this Juggernaut, then we've got a different story. It's possible he doesn't see it. Oh yeah, okay. Suddenly there is hope for Yuah. On the other hand, we've just seen how effective Scooterrene's tier 2 is. He is down a lot of power because of tempo loss. But you know, we've seen some very effective tier 2 so far. Very nice Glacier Shell. Forcing out the disenchant with the light blade. Although the Juggernaut will focus here is going to be able to drop this orb. Meanwhile, the Juggernaut over here is doing work. So if Scooterrene can take that if he can get back up to tier 3 really fast, then he's still in the game. I think he should have put a Master Archers over here so he can take the tier 2 or to the tier 3 and then kill his unit. Looks like he hasn't taken it yet. There he goes. The Juggernaut is coming into attack. He has gotten 2 more wells, which puts Scooterrene at a very low well count. Although again, we've got tons of void power. Scooterrene's got not tons actually, mid-level void power. Well, he's got a bunch of units there, so maybe not nothing. Oh, and this is probably interesting. I think Scooterrene is kind of running out of War Eagles at this point, so the Giant Slayers actually are effective now. So that's a really interesting dynamic that I think he's run out of Juggernauts for sure, but the Giant Slayers are actually going to be effective against the lack of War Eagles. This is still looking like Yuah is going to have a solid defense. Very nice wildfire there. I think that's going to kill the Timeless One and do solid damage versus the Sylvan Lancers. This army is cleaning up, but again, it's like a tier 1, tier 2 army. Actually, mostly tier 1 army. So this could be cleaned up pretty easily with like a lava field or something. And these wells have fallen kind of anyway for Yuah, so it's kind of 2 wells versus 1 well plus a bunch of void power. Now here the Juggernaut is, the charge is back. Yuah spawned at Dazed again. We've not seen a lot of Rallying Banners. The freeze, a little, again, slight miss micro here. And Scooterrene brings everybody in for defense. He's probably going to use the Light Blade ability as soon as this guy runs out of freeze. That Home Soil is doing tremendous damage here. And this Giant Slayer is putting in tons of work. Possible that Scooterrene doesn't have shield building. So that's, I think, a interesting choice not to have, especially given Scooterrene's reputation for playing huge tier 3s. Juggernaut is going to die. And now we're back in this situation where Yuah has no charges. And can he get anything done with no charges but having more power? There's the Giant Slayer. Again, we do see these are the only 2 units he has. It's possible Yuah's got like a sneaky backlash or something hidden, or maybe like maybe a Vulcan, but a Vulcan I don't think would do very much in this matchup. Meanwhile, Scooterrene has, I'm sure, tons of cards. He's famously plays, you know, like 8 cards in tier 3 or something. Ooh, interesting. Avatar Frost sucks versus fire. And there's a Rallying Banner. I think we can just kill it real fast. There we go. And again, I'm thinking this is back in Scooterrene's ball court. Now notice Yuah is stalling, so he is going to get a Juggernaut back up again pretty soon, I think. A Frostbite would probably be the move here. Yeah, this Avatar Frost shouldn't be focusing on the Giant Slayer. I think the Avatar Frost should be doing work over there. Yeah, Yuah is right now, all he's trying to do is stall for a Giant Slayer charge. Not Giant Slayer charge, Juggernaut charge. There it goes, and it is with the Rallying Banner. Meanwhile, this Avatar Frost, which finds a tremendous amount of power, is not doing anything. Looks like this is probably going to drop. We need to get... Yuah has taken out Scooterrene's last spell. We have the monument on Glacier Shell, but I think we're out of shield buildings. Here's the Avatar Frost. And this monument dropped again. But it remains to be seen if Yuah can kill the Avatar Frost. You get a Glacier Shell here. No Glacier Shell. Caught Scooterrene sleeping a little bit. Possibly they ran out of charges, actually. On the other hand, again, there's this Avatar Frost, and unless that Juggernaut comes out of cooldown, I don't know how Yuah is going to stop it. There we go. Yuah is back on, or Scooterrene is back on tier 2, so he's got no Juggernaut. He was able to spawn a Giant Slayer beforehand, so if the Avatar Frost focuses the Giant Slayer, which it looks like he is doing, and Scooterrene takes tier 2 back, but he's decided to stay... Okay, interesting. I think Scooterrene has no freeze, and the Giant Slayer charge was able to kill the Avatar Frost. Again, that's part of the reason why Avatar Frost is not very good against Giant Slayers, because Giant Slayers do have that huge burst. And we're seeing the power levels come lower and lower, because Yuah has 2 wells, which are about to run out of power, but Scooterrene has no additional wells, so he's focusing purely on void power. Now, if Scooterrene plays Area Ice Shield, I think, which he should, this is going to drop. There we go. And Yuah just barely saves it. If that Area Ice Shield is a little bit sooner, Scooterrene's got power. He could make like a Lajesh Knight or something, or I don't know what he played, but Lajesh Knight or there we go, the War Eagle if he can get an Area Ice Shield. If he doesn't, it's just going to get killed with Interruption. And this monument is starting to heal. Scooterrene is losing his tempo advantage. Tier 3 is coming back up. Scooterrene doesn't have a spot to tier 3, although he does have the power. Possibly he's run out of tier 2 charges. And Scooterrene quits. Wow. That was not what I was expecting. Yeah. Okay. To be fair, one thing we didn't consider was that the time was running out. You can see this match had about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, and Yuah's score was quite a bit higher than Scooterrene's score. So if Scooterrene didn't manage to completely kill Yuah in the next 2 minutes, Yuah probably wins on score, and I don't think Scooterrene would be able to have that. But yeah, this is a very close game. It could have gone back and forth, and I think it would have been more exciting to see. I don't think either player would have been able to completely eliminate the other in the time remaining. But yeah, I think this is I don't know. It's an exciting game. I think we saw a couple really obvious places where Scooterrene was probably just not paying attention, and it was able to get a Juggernaut stamp to go through. Or maybe Scooterrene was paying attention and just something was on cooldown or something like that. So yeah, props for you. You have played this, especially in Tier 3, he played it very well. He's just micromanaging, playing on all sides of the map and trying to just like out APM Scooterrene. So there's a game, Pure Fire versus Pure Frost, with probably the best Pure Fire and best Pure Frost players on the ladder right now. Everybody else is playing bandits pretty much. So thanks for watching, and welcome back to another one of my videos.